Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Popcorn Podcast. I'm Tommy Cresta, and here I'm doing one of my little solo episodes, quicker, shorter reviews. If you're new to the channel, these are the ones I do by myself. They're only about 15, 20 minutes instead of the normal hour and a half episodes that Ryan and I do together. In these episodes, I tend to just talk about what's been going on in my life, talk about a little bit about what I've been watching recently, and then sometimes I do a review. Today I'm reviewing the new Crow remake, starring Bill Skarsgård, FKA Twigs, and Danny Hudson. But yeah, getting right into it. Thank you guys so much for the continued support of the show. Make sure to go on to TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, every other channel that you guys follow us on. And yeah, continue the amazing support that you guys have been giving us. But recently, what have I been up to? I think I can talk about it finally. I don't think I've talked about it yet on the show, but we are officially working on a feature film with a lot of studio interest right now, which is really exciting. We're working on it with a great writer. He's worked on 30 other feature film projects, other studio projects. He has a really good film coming out soon. And I can't really say anything else but that, but I will say it's a horror movie. It's kind of something I've been wanting to do for a long time, so it's really exciting to finally get to move forward and make it a feature film when we've been working in shorts for most of that. And that's a huge thanks to you guys. That we even get this opportunity to possibly make it because you guys have given us support. You guys have given us a platform to kind of put ourselves out there and get ourselves better chances at making this stuff happen. But yeah, so might have a movie coming. But if I can, once things are more 100%, I'll give you guys a better update on everything and kind of where everything's been going. But yeah, so outside of that, I talked about. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of movies recently. I watched Pet Sematary. I rewatched it the other day, and that movie holds up to me. I still think it's just as good as it always is. I think Rachel's sister is so terrifying, and she will always be one of the scariest characters I've ever seen. And the person I was watching with was also terrified of them, so it felt good to not just think it was me. But yeah, Pet Sematary, awesome. If you have never seen it and you do like horror, I think it's a really solid horror movie from the 80s, 1980. I think it's 89. It's 89 or 87, but it's really held up all the way to 2024. What else have I been watching? I feel like I don't. Oh, okay. So I watched Horror in the High Desert, the indie found footage horror movie. There's a trilogy now, and I really enjoyed myself. I thought it was really good. I'm really excited to watch the next two. The director, oh God, I can't remember his name. Dutch Marich. He actually followed me on Instagram, which was pretty cool. And I got to talking about it, talk about how much I enjoyed the film, and I'm so excited to see the other two. And I think there's a fourth one coming out, but it was really a lot of fun. I gave it 3.5 stars, so I'm really excited because a lot of people really enjoy the next two as well. So yeah, I probably will watch the second one tonight if I have a chance. I've been watching The Bear. I'm on the finale. I think I have like 10 minutes left in the whole season. I've really enjoyed season 3. I am going to do another one of these reviews to talk more in depth about The Bear season 3. And yeah, but that's for later down the line. What else? Oh, I've been watching Friday Night Lights. I've never seen it before. People keep telling me how good it is, so I finally decided to give it a watch. I'm thinking of doing a Patreon review of each season of it and kind of just explaining what I like about it, what I don't. But yeah, it's a really good show, and it really gets football correct, which a lot of shows don't, especially all different types of sports. It tends to be unrealistic, or like All American does not get football correct. But this does. It feels like real football. They just have a camera there. But again, not what we're here to talk about today. We are here to talk about the new Crow remake by Rupert. I want to say Rupert Sanders, but I feel like I'm going to say it wrong. Rupert Sanders. Okay, I was right. I wasn't sure if Sanders. Currently has a 2.3 out of 10. 2.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and I know it has a 22 critic score. Yeah, 22 critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 65% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie, how do I... Well, for those who don't know, it's about soulmates Eric Draven and Shelley Webster are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Given a chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Draven returns to seek bloody revenge against the killers, traversing the world of the living and the dead to put the wrong things right. This, of course, is based off the infamous graphic novel The Crow, which was made into a movie by Alex Proyas, who also had Brendan Lee starring in it alongside sorry, Ernie Hudson. And sadly, Brendan Lee did pass while filming this during a tragic stunt miscue where a piece of a blank was shot through and did strike him, killing him. And I'm one of those people that I understand why people find this movie so untouchable. It's something that I really enjoy. I know I've been seeing a lot of people really shitting on the original one recently. I guess because this one's coming out and brings up the past. But I know people that love the original one did not like that they were making a sequel, reimagining, requel, remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it. And I disagree. I've been really wanting a new Crow. I think there's so much to tell with that story. You can do so much with it, so much with the characters. It doesn't always have to be Eric Draven. It could be anyone, I think. But I can see where people were coming from because going off of the 3 sequels we got originally, what is it? City of Angels, The Crow. What is that? Wicked Prayer, and then Crow Resurrection. Salvation. I'm sorry, not Resurrection. All terrible, bad movies that didn't have any heart behind it, didn't have any love for the story. Excuse me. And I get that. I really do. And the sequels are bad. I'll give them that. It didn't ever show that they cared. Like, it never showed that they wanted this to be good. They didn't show that they wanted to care about this franchise, this character, this story that had so much love from it in the beginning. Was such a great, I think, indie superhero crime thriller. And of course, you have Brendan Lee, who gives one of my favorite performances of all time as Eric Draven. And sadly, as I talked about, he did pass away during the filming, which really put a sour taste in most people's mouths about the remakes already, because it's something so cherished now. But I think Rupert Sanders really wanted to make something good here. He wanted to make something that can be held next to the other one. It's not as good as the original one. It was never going to be as good as the original one. But at least he tried. He tried to do something different. And I really liked that. And I enjoyed the film. I had no huge gripes with it. I gave the film 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I have it at like a 66, 67 score for me. And I enjoyed myself. I took my friend Connor to go see it with me because Ryan doesn't want to see it. And I enjoyed myself. I thought the first act's really, really well done. It really builds a relationship, which, if you don't know the original movie, Shelley Webster isn't really a character. She's more of an outline of someone. It's just, you never really get to see her that often. It's a lot of the times it's the outline of her. It's a quick shot of a flashback. This one she is Shelley Webster. She is the character. She is the secondary character of the film. And the whole story revolves around her. Well, kind of. The story revolves around, of course, Eric Draven, played by Bill Skarsgård. But she is important, which in the other one she really isn't. I know there was a lot about the look with the tattoos, the makeup. It wasn't what people wanted. Again, I was one of those people. I was not very happy with the original look that they gave him when they released the poster. Not the poster, the first still image. But in the end, I really didn't mind it. I like the tattoos, especially when you look at it now. People have tattoos. I have tattoos. Everyone has tattoos, especially people that have a lot of trauma in their lives. Tattoos tend to be a way that people handle the trauma, and he does. And he uses them to kind of cover up things from his past. Uses them to cover up scars of his. He uses them as kind of a way to feel at peace with things. And I really liked it. I like the idea of all the tattoos because in the 21st century, that's a thing now. In 2024 especially, the tattoos are everywhere. Everyone has them. So I really like the look. I like the way that they changed it up, the actual makeup, like the suit up kind of sequence. They changed it up, and he just rubs it's more tattoo ink that he just puts around his eyes, and it looked really good, especially once it does have some blood on him, and then the look really fits the Crow to me. I really like the idea of it all, and I enjoyed the movie. I understand that people are not happy. I understand that critics are bombing on this movie, but I don't agree. I think it was a really fun time. I enjoyed myself. I was happy with it. Of course, I wanted it to be better, but I was happy with it. I thought they did enough. And you can tell they actually Rupert Sanders likes this universe. He likes the Crow. He likes the idea of the story. He likes the actual story. Bill Skarsgård really seemed like he liked doing the film. So did FKA Twigs, who I think did a great job for not even being an actress. And I hope she acts more because I really enjoyed her in this. Danny Hudson was really good as a villain. One of my problems, though, is that I wish there was more of Danny Hudson. But going into, we'll start with negative. My biggest negatives, as I just started off, was Danny Hudson's not in it enough. When I really think I like this villain, I like this character, but I would have liked to see more of him. Number two, I think the writing's kind of weak. It's very cheesy sometimes. It's very basic writing. I would have liked a little bit more that poetic style that the original one gets. And the second act really dragged. I think the first act's really good. Third act, I think, was awesome. I just think the middle of the movie felt very slow, and you're kind of just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for him to become the Crow. When he is the Crow, the whole movie, I guess, but he like finally suits up, puts on the makeup, starts fighting, and that's where I think the movie really. He eventually gets shot into the trailer, he falls into the bathtub. From then on, the movie is so much fun. It's a great action set pieces, some great fight sequences, choreography. I like the dialogue a lot more. I think it was well written. It was well acted. Cinematography is great from then on. But yeah, I think the second act really, really hurts the project. Going on to good things though, because those are like my main three issues with the entire movie. No, there should be some. Oh, Bill Skarsgård's voice. As much as I love him, he's definitely the second best person that's ever portrayed the Crow. His accent kind of comes through a little bit during certain sequences, because even Connor asked me during the movie, he's like, is he not from, not even accent, because he's from the US. His voice kind of, the accent kind of changes throughout the movie sometimes, and Connor asked if he was even from the US. But yeah, that's the only acting thing problem I have. I like the cast. I like the look. I thought the cinematography throughout the entire movie was so well done. I like the look at the use of the Crow in this one. They don't have to do much of the actual Crow vision like they do in the original. They actually don't do it at all. But it's still cool to see the Crow. They do a lot of the close-ups hinting back to the original ones. They did some Easter eggs calling back to the original movie, which I really liked. And yeah, I thought that, I mean, the set pieces in this are so cool. The whole opera third act fight, which everyone knows from the trailer, it is great. It is a great action sequence that I will be watching on YouTube once it comes out. I think it was so well done. I really love the way that they had him fight, because he's not a fighter. You see it throughout the movie. He's not a fighter. He just doesn't care at this point. He just wants all these people dead. It doesn't matter how he has to do it. He'll do it with a sword, a gun, his hands. He uses his own ability to heal to his advantage by stabbing through himself. And the sword's in him, and he makes movements to kill other people. He shoots through himself a couple times. And I really, really enjoyed all that. And yeah, I thought the opera seemed so cool. And then finally, you get the confrontation between Danny Hudson's character and Bill Skarsgård's Eric Draven. And it has a great look to it, like the actual speech that Danny Hudson gives him about how she wouldn't love him anymore. He's not the person that she loved. He doesn't care about any of that. But the look that Bill Skarsgård gives himself when he looks in the mirror is just devastated, because he's not the person that he wanted to be. And he just wants to save the love of his life. And I really like that whole idea. I love that it's revenge. It's, what did I say? The first thing is anger, and like, it's not anger, it's love. And love makes people do crazy, crazy things in this world, in the real world. And yeah, I just really enjoyed myself. I understand it's not a perfect movie. It's probably not even a very good movie. It's probably below a good, and it's an okay movie. But there's some really fun sequences. And if you like The Crow, I genuinely think you will like this movie. I think there's stuff that carried over really well. After a long time of waiting, I think we got the best version of The Crow since the original one. And I think I really just liked Bill Skarsgård in the role. I like the whole idea. I like the concept. I like how Rupert Sanders did it. I like they changed it. It's not a reboot. It is definitely a reimagining of this story. They had a lot of different things. Like there is the Purgatory world where we see him become the Crow, which I really liked. I like the use of it. There's like demons that come from underground and pull people down, which I really like. Kind of made me think of Ghost with Patrick Swayze. But there's that third act is just. I mean, the third act saves the movie to me because if the third act is the second act, I'm probably way down with the critics. But I think the third act is so good, it really saves that second act and makes the movie a lot better. And Bill Skarsgård, you could just feel the anger, the vengeance that Eric Draven wants. So, yeah, I really enjoyed myself. I want to hear what you guys think as well. I would love to talk to more people about The Crow because I've been talking. I've talked to my dad. I've talked to Con. I've talked to some of the fans about it, and a lot of people have felt the same way. I feel like I have. I feel like audiences are really. They understand it's not a perfect movie, but they love what they've seen, and so I'm with them. I really enjoyed myself. I think people are being overcritical of this movie. I think it being a remake is the main problem because I think if this movie is its own original concept and it's not called The Crow, and if this is the first version of The Crow, this movie's getting a much better score. I think, but going from the original one, which is so beloved, it just makes it hard for certain people to look past it. Which I don't agree with because I think it is its own it's its own version of this story. It's not a remake. It is they are night and day movies. And I'll say one thing. I think the action sequence, the opera scene in this is better than the fight scenes in the original one because I think it looks better. Again, choreography stuff has changed a lot. I like the blood use in this. I just thought it was a better action sequence in this one than there was in the other one. The other one is a better movie with a better The Crow with Brendan Lee. And the whole style, the writing is so good in that movie. Ernie Hudson's so good in that. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed the movie. I think people being a little overcritical of it, especially critics. A 22? Are you kidding me? A 22? There's movies that are 22s. This is not one of them. And I think people need to stop looking at critic reviews so much when they're deciding to go to the movies. Because if you like action, you like violence, you love romance, love great chemistry on screen, then I think this is the movie you need to go watch. Yes, it's not the best written movie. It does feel slow. But the beginning of the first 45 minutes and the final 45 minutes are really enjoyable. The middle just struggles for a little bit. But I guess it wouldn't be 45 minutes, it'd be like 35. Yeah, like an hour. And then like the little 30 minutes in between struggles. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about The Crow. I enjoyed myself. I think people should go see it. It has done an abysmal performance at the box office so far. It got 5 million in its open weekend. Hopefully it can kind of hold on to 5 million. But I have a feeling this movie's just going to be a bomb. And it's really sad because I think it's better than what people are making it out to be. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about The Crow. Definitely go check it out, I think. And I'm going to recommend that you go check out the original Crow because then you can at least see why people feel the way they feel about it. And yeah, that's all I really have to talk about today in this little solo review. Just want to get my review of The Crow out there. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys later.